Not least of all because the monarchy is about continuity. Okay, we have to shift the way we support. My role, I have a role as Colonel of the Blues and Rolls in the Household Cavalry Regiment as Goldstick. And Goldstick was the original close protection officer. So that is a role that I was asked if I'd like to do for this coronation.
Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, known for her no-nonsense demeanor and tireless work ethic, recently sat down for a rare, candid interview that sent ripples through Buckingham Palace and beyond. With her signature dry wit and unflinching honesty, she spoke about a future that's both inevitable and exhilarating, the coronation of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as King and Queen. But what left everyone speechless wasn't just the topic, it was Anne's revelation that King Charles III is already stepping back, paving the way for his son and daughter-in-law to take centre stage. Why now? And what does this mean for the monarchy? Stick with us as we unpack this historic shift, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. The idea of Charles, at 76, easing his duties isn't entirely new. Since his cancer diagnosis in 2024, the King has balanced public engagements with health considerations, relying heavily on senior royals like Anne, William and Catherine. But Anne's interview, imagined here as a heartfelt conversation with a trusted broadcaster, paints a vivid picture of a monarch who's not just managing his health, but strategically preparing the monarchy for its next chapter. Charles has always known his reign would be a bridge, Anne might say, her voice steady but warm. He's not clinging to the crown, he's shaping it for William and Catherine. This isn't an abdication, she'd clarify, but a modern, sensible move, one that reflects the King's pragmatism and the family's unity. For royal fans, it's a moment that feels both monumental and deeply personal, like watching a father hand over the reins with pride. When we think of a coronation, we picture gold carriages, ancient rituals, and Westminster Abbey aglow. But Anne's words suggest William and Catherine's coronation isn't some distant event. It's already taking shape behind palace walls. They're not waiting for the crown to land on their heads, she might quip, her eyes twinkling with that trademark humour. William's been at Charles's side for years, and Catherine's been learning the ropes in her own way. It's a slow handover, but it's happening. This gradual transition, Anne hints, is why Charles has scaled back, letting William step into roles once reserved for the monarch. Look at William's recent high-profile moments, leading D-Day commemorations in France, representing the UK at global summits, and championing causes like mental health and homelessness. Catherine, too, has returned to public life post-cancer treatment, radiating poise at events like Trooping the Colour and engaging with communities affected by tragedy, like the Southport knife attack. These aren't just duties, they're rehearsals for a reign. Anne, ever the observer, might note how William's steady presence echoes Charles's early years as Prince of Wales, while Catherine's warmth recalls Queen Elizabeth II's quiet strength. They're a team, Anne could say, and that's what makes this work. For royal watchers, it's thrilling to imagine the coronation preparations, secret meetings, regalia fittings, and perhaps a few nervous glances between William and Catherine as they grasp the weight of what's coming. King Charles III's decision to step back isn't about weakness, it's about wisdom. In our imagined interview, Anne paints a picture of a king who's spent decades preparing for his role, only to realise his greatest legacy might be knowing when to pass it on. He's not vanishing, she might clarify, her tone firm. He's still king, still guiding, but he's giving William and Catherine room to grow into their future. This move, Anne suggests, is rooted in Charles's deep understanding of the monarchy's need to evolve. Since ascending the throne in 2022, Charles has faced challenges, health concerns, a slimmed-down monarchy, and public debates about the institution's relevance. Yet, he's also modernised the crown, from supporting studies on the monarchy's historical links to slavery to embracing sustainable initiatives like Poundbury. By stepping back, Charles is ensuring the monarchy doesn't stagnate. Anne, who's known Charles longer than anyone, might share a private moment. "I saw him smile at William during a council meeting, like he was saying, 'You've got this.' It's not something he'd say out loud, but it's there." This quiet confidence in his son is what makes Charles's retreat so powerful. It's not a surrender, but a strategic pivot that could redefine the monarchy's future. If Charles is the bridge, William and Catherine are the destination, a couple poised to redefine the monarchy with a blend of tradition and bold, modern vision. In Princess Anne's imagined interview, she shines a spotlight on their unique strengths. "William's got his father's sense of duty, but he's not afraid to break the mould," she might say, her voice brimming with pride. And Catherine, she has this gift for making everyone, from a child in a hospital to a world leader, feel truly seen. Their coronation, whenever it arrives, will be more than a ceremony. It'll be a declaration of a monarchy that's relatable, engaged, and ready for the 21st century. Their public work tells a compelling story. William's Earthshot Prize, a global initiative to combat climate change, showcases his ambition to lead on issues that resonate worldwide, earning praise from figures like David Attenborough. Catherine's Shaping Us campaign, focused on early childhood development, reflects her commitment to societal change, rooted in years of research and quiet visits to community centres. Together, they've redefined royal engagements, swapping formal banquets for hands-on visits. Think William chatting with firefighters, or Catherine kneeling to talk with a shy toddler. Anne might chuckle, recalling a moment. "William once told me he'd rather be out meeting people than stuck in a meeting." That's his strength. He's at ease with the public. But it's not just their public roles that set them apart. Behind closed doors, William and Catherine are a team, balancing royal duties with family life. Royal insiders whisper about their late-night strategy sessions at Kensington Palace, poring over schedules or brainstorming ways to modernise the crown. Their partnership is evident in small gestures, a shared glance during a tense moment, a reassuring hand on the back at events like the 2024 Commonwealth Day service. Anne, ever observant, might note, they don't just compliment each other, they challenge each other to be better. That's rare. Their approach extends to their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, who are being raised with a sense of duty, but also freedom. William and Catherine prioritise normalcy, from school runs to family holidays in Norfolk, ensuring their kids grow up grounded. Yet, they're gently preparing George, the future king, for his role, with William sharing lessons from his own upbringing. Charlotte and Louis, too, are learning to navigate public life, as seen in their poised appearances at Trooping the Colour. Anne might reflect, they're raising those children to serve, but also to be themselves. That's the future of the monarchy. William and Catherine's vision is clear, a monarchy that listens. They've embraced social media, sharing candid updates on platforms like Instagram, and engaged directly with the public, from replying to letters to hosting virtual chats during the pandemic. Their coronation will likely reflect this openness, perhaps a live-streamed event or a public festival alongside the traditional rites. Anne might nod approvingly. They respect the crown's history, but they're not bound by it. They're building something new. For royal fans, it's a thrilling glimpse of a reign that feels both timeless and refreshingly modern, led by a couple already proving they're ready. A coronation isn't a solo act, it's a symphony, with every royal playing their part to ensure William and Catherine are ready for the crown. In our imagined interview, Princess Anne pulls back the curtain on this family effort, her voice a mix of pride and pragmatism. "It's not just about William and Catherine," she might say, leaning forward as if sharing a palace secret. "It's all of us, Edward, Sophie, me, even the younger ones like Beatrice and Eugenie, working together to make this transition seamless." This collective spirit, Anne hints, is the monarchy's backbone, a quiet strength that's been forged through years of shared duty and mutual support. Princess Anne herself sets the pace. At 74, she remains the monarchy's workhorse, undertaking hundreds of engagements annually, from opening hospitals to championing her beloved equestrian causes. When Charles and Catherine faced health challenges in 2024, Anne stepped up without hesitation, filling gaps at state events and offering counsel behind closed doors. "She's like the family's anchor," a royal insider might whisper, and Anne would likely shrug it off with a wry smile. But her role goes beyond logistics. She's a mentor, sharing her decades of experience with William, who often seeks her advice on navigating public scrutiny. Picture a quiet moment at Gatcombe Park, Anne and William sipping tea, her telling him, "Just keep your head down and do the work. The rest sorts itself out." Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, are equally vital. Once the monarchy's under-the-radar couple, they've stepped into the spotlight, taking on patronages like the Duke of Edinburgh's award and representing the King abroad. Sophie, in particular, has bonded with Catherine over their shared focus on community outreach, often swapping notes on engaging younger audiences. Anne might chuckle, recalling a family briefing where Sophie teased William about his serious face during a speech. "He's getting better," she'd say, "but we all give him a nudge now and then." These light-hearted moments reveal a family that's not just professional, but deeply human, rallying around their future king and queen with warmth and wit. Even the younger royals are pitching in. Princess Beatrice, who welcomed her second daughter in January 2025, balances motherhood with her work for charities like the Forget-Me-Not Children's Hospice. Her sister, Princess Eugenie, uses her platform to advocate for environmental causes, aligning with William's Earthshot Prize. Anne might share a story of Eugenie organising a family video call to brainstorm ways to support Catherine's early childhood initiatives, a modern touch that shows how even the cousins are invested. "They're not just names on a family tree," Anne could say. "They're part of this machine, each doing their bit." This team effort extends to the emotional realm. The royals know a coronation carries weight, not just ceremonial, but personal. Anne, who watched her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, bear that burden, might describe late-night chats where she reassures Catherine, "You don't have to be perfect, just present." These quiet exchanges, away from the cameras, are what knit the family together, ensuring William and Catherine aren't facing this monumental shift alone. For royal fans, it's a heartwarming glimpse into a family that's less about tiaras and more about teamwork, setting the stage for a coronation that feels like a shared triumph. What does King Charles III's step back and the rise of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, mean for the monarchy's future? In her imagined interview, Princess Anne offers a glimpse into a transformation that feels both seismic and natural, a shift that could redefine the crown for generations. "The monarchy's always been about continuity," she might reflect, echoing her 2023 CBC interview where she stressed stability over flash. But continuity doesn't mean standing still. William and Catherine are proof of that. Their coronation, whenever it arrives, won't just crown a new king and queen, it'll herald a monarchy that's leaner, more relatable, and boldly engaged with the challenges of our time. Picture it. A reign led by a couple who've already shown they understand the modern world. William's Earthshot Prize, a global initiative to combat climate change, isn't just a passion project. It's a blueprint for a monarchy that acts rather than observes. Catherine's work on early childhood development through her Shaping Us campaign digs deep into societal roots, aiming to break cycles of disadvantage before they start. These aren't fleeting gestures, they're long-term commitments that signal a crown willing to tackle issues like mental health, inequality, and environmental crises head-on. Anne, with her decades of royal service, might nod approvingly. They're not here to just wave from a balcony, they want to make a difference, and people notice that. The implications stretch beyond Britain's shores. As King and Queen, William and Catherine could reinvigorate the Commonwealth, a network of 56 nations that's faced growing calls for independence. Their youth and tech-savvy approach, think Instagram posts and virtual engagements, could bridge gaps with younger generations who view the monarchy as a relic. Imagine William addressing a Commonwealth summit, his earnestness disarming skeptics, or Catherine connecting with students in Nairobi via Zoom, her warmth transcending borders. Yet, challenges loom large. Republican movements in countries like Australia and Canada, coupled with anti-monarchist sentiments at home, demand a monarchy that justifies its place. Anne, ever the realist, might acknowledge this with a wry smile. There'll always be critics, but William and Catherine have a knack for winning hearts. Just watch them with a crowd. Public perception is another battleground. Polls, like those from YouGov in 2024, show mixed support for the monarchy, with younger Britons questioning its cost and relevance. William and Catherine counter this with authenticity. Think of their candid discussions about parenting struggles, or William's openness about mental health. These moments make them less like distant royals and more like neighbours you'd chat with over tea. Anne might share a quiet observation. They don't pretend to be perfect, and that's their strength. People relate to their realness. Their coronation could amplify this, blending ancient pomp with modern touches, perhaps a live-streamed ceremony or a nod to sustainability, like eco-friendly regalia. Globally, their reign could reposition the monarchy as a soft power asset. William's diplomatic trips, like his 2024 visit to France for D-Day, show a prince who commands respect without arrogance. Catherine's grace under pressure, seen during her cancer recovery, resonates worldwide, making her a figure of quiet strength. Together, they could turn the monarchy into a platform for unity, not division. But Anne, pragmatic as ever, might caution, it's not about being popular, it's about being relevant. For royal fans, the thought of their reign sparks hope, a monarchy that's not just enduring but evolving, led by a couple who've already proven they can handle the spotlight. What do you think their coronation will bring? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going. At its heart, Princess Anne's interview isn't just about crowns or titles, it's about family, legacy, and the courage to embrace change. Charles's decision to step back, William and Catherine's rise, and the royal family's collective effort mirror moments we all face, passing the torch, growing into new roles, and balancing tradition with progress. It's not always easy, Anne might say, her voice softening, a rare glimpse of vulnerability from the steely Princess Royal. But when you see William and Catherine together, you know the monarchy's in good hands. That's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just a royal saga, but a human one, rich with lessons about trust, growth, and love. Think about it. We've all watched someone we care about take on a big responsibility, a parent handing over the family business, a teacher preparing a student to lead, or even a friend stepping up in a crisis. There's pride, but also a pang of letting go. That's what Charles is doing, and Anne's words capture it perfectly. Picture a quiet moment at Sandringham, Charles watching William brief advisors with confidence, a small nod of approval crossing his face. Or Catherine, adjusting George's tie before an event, her calm smile hiding the weight of knowing her children will one day follow her path. These aren't just royal moments, they're universal, the kind that make you pause and reflect on your own life. Anne, with her decades of service, understands this better than most. She's seen the monarchy evolve through triumphs and turmoil, from Queen Elizabeth II's steady reign to Charles's modernising efforts. Her support for William and Catherine isn't just duty, it's personal. They're not just my nephew and his wife, she might say, a wry smile breaking through. They're the future, and they're ready. This resonates because it reminds us that even in a world of palaces and protocols, the heart of the story is family, flawed, hopeful, and trying their best, just like ours. For royal fans, this transition feels like watching a beloved story unfold. Remember when William and Catherine married in 2011, their nervous smiles lighting up Westminster Abbey? Or when they stood on the Buckingham Palace balcony, waving to a cheering crowd? Those moments felt like promises of stability, of a new generation ready to carry the crown. Now, as they prepare for their coronation, those promises are coming true. It's not about pomp or power, but about people rising to the occasion, supported by those who love them. And that's why we're all invested, whether we're royal watchers or just curious onlookers. What's your favourite moment from this royal journey? Maybe it's imagining Charles's quiet pride or Catherine's steady hand guiding her family through change. Share it in the comments, we'd love to hear. And stay tuned for more stories that bring the royal family closer to you. Up next, a look at how Prince George is stepping into his own royal role. Trust us, you won't want to miss it.